Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I have 5 vowels and I have duplicates and I have no high scoring tiles. So I'm looking to sort the rack out. I think Inia does that quite well. Rack leave of AET is not bad. And again I have 5 vowels. It carries on like this. There may be a vowel shortage at the end of the game, but I must still play to focus on score and rack leave. So I'm looking to play off 3 vowels as I did with the opening move. Well, Toji is a 5-letter play which would leave A and O, which is not a great rack leave. And again I have no high scoring tiles. My G can go above either I. So I could play Goa at G7 as the board stands, but then I am only playing off 2 vowels, which isn't great. Now, what's available? AE takes a G above it. In takes a G above it. So what about Toji? Well, I don't think that does play above Inia. I could play it at J4 across. 13 points. Can I do anything better? I'm looking at the W to see if I've got a play down from that. I don't think I have. What I don't like about Toji is it gives an easy opportunity for my opponent to score. Well, I could play Goat across here. I'm keeping 3 vowels, but they're all different. Now, the advantage of this move is I'm providing no opportunities for my opponent. And it's 17 points, which is more than I would have got for Toji. 5 vowels again, but I now have some high scoring tiles. Fauve is good, F-A-U-V-E. Rack leave of AO is pretty poor, but it's not possible to score well or play anything and leave a decent rack leave when you're looking at a rack like this. There's nowhere at the moment where Fauve plays, so hopefully my opponent will provide an opening. Favour is also good, F-A-V-A, keeping E-O-U. And that does play in row F, making Ag. Now my opponent has changed 2, which isn't very many tiles, so he may be close to a bingo, but I need to concentrate on my own rack. Well, what I can do is Fauvir, which is going to score a lot more than Favour. I am retaining the U, but I'm retaining only 2 vowels rather than 3, and it's 26 points. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Do I have anything? I don't think there is a 7 with this rack. But this is a really bingo-y set of tiles, so there could be something here. Through an E I would have neurosal or allurones. But the floaters to consider are the F, the O and the V. Can't see anything with the F. Or the O. Or the V. Through a C I would have Cowlands or Consular. I've covered E with neurosal and allurones. Languors through a G. I think there might be something with an M, but I can't see it. Now, has my opponent provided any more floaters? He hasn't. So I need to be sure that there isn't a 7-letter bingo, because there is a bingo lane in row J for a bingo ending in S. No, I can't see it, if there is one. So, how to sort this rack out, given that I have no high-scoring tiles? I certainly want to play off the U. So what I could do is Urali. Given that I have the S, this feels quite a bingo-y rack, so having more floaters would be good. And I'm also helping to keep the row J open for a bingo ending in S. And 18 points is not bad with a whole bunch of 1-point tiles. Yeah. It would be nicer to keep the A rather than the O, which would mean playing, well, either Lown or Lower. So I could play Louvar in column 4, Louvar. 20 points, which is 2 more points. Keeps NS. How good is retaining the O with the N and the S? I think it is a good thing. Yep. Better to have at least one vowel, and this goes well with the floaters in Urali. Especially with the U, with UN and UN beginning and no US ending. Yeah. That's why I'm glad I kept a vowel. I only draw 1. So, do I have a bingo? This looks like there may be one here. I'm looking at the floaters in Urali and the floaters in Fovea. I've got ish as a suffix. Well, I'm not seeing anything. I don't think... Oh gosh, I don't think unpolish is good. Unpolish. But it could be. Unpolish. I'm not going to try it. I have way too much doubt about that. Out yield, good bingo by my opponent, 82 points. And he's provided a D for dolphins. Fantastic. I don't have to agonise over unpolished, even though unpolished would score a lot more than dolphins. Now, do I have a better bingo? There's the dolphins doesn't get doubled, so I've got the E and the L of out yield. So what about neophils? don't think neophil is good. I think it's maybe neophile. And what about through the L? Nope, can't see anything there, so I'm going to play dolphins. Oh well, the H gets doubled, that's good. Dolphins 69. And this is a pretty non-bingo-y selection, but I do have a couple of vowels and I have high scoring tiles, so I should be able to score. The M is not too problematic being doubled because it can never be tripled and it's quite a flexible tile. 2 M's are not bingo-y, but this rack I don't think is 1 step away from a bingo. I think it's 2 steps away. I've got fudge as a 5-letter bingo, a 5-letter play. Now the eye of dolphins is available and I have got high scoring tiles. Can I take advantage of that? Well, I could play mime, but that keeps D, F, G, U. 33 points. What's better? Well, I was going to say film, but I don't have the L for that. Guide is playable through that I. 24 points, keeping F, M, M. That can't be good. Can't be a good play. It'd be nice to play off the F, the U and the M, at least. I think mudge is good. Well, now I can play fudge up here. And although this opens up column 15, that's not such a bad thing because this is an open board, and while I'm behind I would like to keep it open. And by opening up column 15 I'm helping to preserve the 08 triple word square for one of my M's, or placing my M at the double letter square at L8 and coming down. But just in general this scores well. 27 points, and it keeps the board open. Okay, another vowel drought rack, but I do have one. I'm only 7 points behind, or I was. I'm now a lot more, about 70 points behind. And that's the second blank that's gone. So, what I can do is play mink down here, which splits up the duplicate M, keeps the E back, scores 39 points, which is good. And I don't think I'm going to do any better than that. It would be nice to place my K where my M is. But I can't do that without burning the E. And although there are 5 E's left, there's no guarantee that I will draw one. Okay, again, certainly no bingo here, but I've got high scoring tiles in the J and the X. My opponent's having a great game. He's got 94 points for auditor, so I'm now 130 points behind. But what can I do with the J and the X? Djembe is good. I'm just looking around to see if there are any premium squares where a J or an X would score particularly well. I'm looking at C7. Well, I could play jam, but I'm only playing jam or jab, but I'm only doubling the J, not quadrupling it. So, not a huge number of places. I could play jet at H1. Actually, that's not bad. Because I'm behind, I'd like to play off as few tiles as possible to keep the game going as long as possible. And I'm keeping the X back for score, and I'm keeping a vowel back, and 30 points is quite a good score. I could get an extra 6 points by playing Jet A, but keeping 4 consonants and no vowels is bad because I may draw 3 more consonants and then have a real problem. I can't see anywhere else to score more with my J or my X, or indeed anything else. Well, this is looking a little bit better. Imbrex is good as a 6-letter word. Wow, and I can play that at L10 across, doubling the X. So that would be quite a useful score, maybe around 50 points. I'm still 100 points behind with my opponent on turn, so I'm not in a great position, but the game is not over yet. So what would Imbrex score? I think 52 points, pretty good. And looking at the tiles that are left, they are quite bingo-y. And the board does have bingo lanes. There's row C with the floating A, there's the floating K and row O. And there's column 14, which Imbrex is going to obstruct, but Imbrex would provide an R and an E as additional floaters. So what am I going to do if Imbrex is blocked? I note that I've got the I for going underneath the Q, but I don't think I can use that to good effect. I don't have to play off my X immediately. If I can score well with my B or my M, I would want to split up the duplicate R. Now I'm wondering if I can place my M at F10, making fem a word beginning M-E. Well, I could play merry, M-E-R-I, but that's retaining B-R-X, which isn't a great rack leave. But it would score 29 points. I think B-mix is good as a 5-letter play. Not sure there's anywhere great to play it. Okay, my opponent has blocked Imbrex. But on the plus side, he has only scored 12 points. And, well, I could play Myrex. Mixer and Myrex. For 34 points, which isn't a huge score. But the B and the R are quite, well, they're not, it's not a fantastic leave, but with the right pickup I could have a bingo in row C or column 14. So can I do better than 34 points? Well, I could play Imbrex in row N, making SI. The X doesn't get doubled. But I don't think that's a good play. It'd be too easy for my opponent to get a big score. Add 0-15 on the triple word square, especially with the X immediately above it. Now, am I missing a better spot for Myrex? I don't think so. Okay, not remotely bingo-y, and I am a bingo behind. And there's only 12 tiles in the bag, but the remaining tiles are extremely bingo-y. There are 9 vowels left out of 19 tiles, so it's a fairly balanced rack. Tressia, that's good. So I think the game is lost. Only 5 tiles in the bag. But I still need to play the best move I can to minimise the losing spread. So I've got high scoring tiles in the B, C, H and V. Now I don't have an E, so I can't play my H at F10 underneath FE to good effect. I could play Hick at M13 down, keeping BORV. Let me see what that scores. 35 points, which is a big score. And I can't see anywhere that I can score much more than that. And another pretty grim rack, but there's only 2 tiles in the bag. I'm expecting my opponent to empty the bag. So my plan would be to try and go out in 2 with this rack. Now I could play Volt at L1 across. 24 points. That would leave BLOR. Okay, I can't see a way of playing out with that. So what else is available? Well, there's Bolt at G14 down, leaving VOR. That might be easier to play out with. Vor is a valid 3-letter word. Okay, well I can't see anywhere to play that. I'm looking at around Tressia to see if there are any good plays in that corner of the board. Well, I could play Verb at A3 down. 18 points, and that would leave Loot. Well, Loot plays where my opponent has just played. So, do I play Verb or Volt? My opponent's got AEELO, so I don't think he's going out in 1, so I think I do have 2 turns. Let me put Verb down and see what I can do with the remaining tiles. So Loot, Tool, Loto. Well, Loto plays in column 13, making Oboe, Tar and Ow. So, do I have a second spot for Loot or one of its anagrams? Well, not that I can see. And my opponent could quite easily play parallel to board. I can certainly easily make another move, but it's important to be able to go out in 2 if you can. So that's Verb. What about Volt? Keeping BLOR. Well, this is no good at all because I can't even see a single out. So I think what I will do is play Verb and hope that Loto is not blocked. And there may be a second spot for me to go out that I haven't spotted yet. Anna takes an L after it. Great. Well, 35 points isn't great for me, but I have got an out, which is down here. So that's 21. And done. And the final score, 346 to me, 472 to my opponent, a winning margin of 126. So well done to my opponent, very well played, 4 excellent bingos, pungency, Tressia, auditor and out yield. Let's see what I missed. So, it was me to go first. Tenia for 14. Well, I think that my play was better AET. I think it's a much better rack leaf than just I. Well, very little to choose between these choices, all of them low scoring with poor rack leaves, so goat was fine. This is where I played Fauvire at f2, and that looks best. Phew. I was waiting to see if a 7-letter bingo, missed bingo, popped up with this rack, and it hasn't, so I'm glad about that. Again, pretty low scoring options available. This is where I played Urali for 18, which is the 4th one down, and that looks fine. Unpolished was good. Okay, well that was an error. I got 69 for dolphins, and I could have got 23 more points for unpolish, and siphonal through the A of Urali was also available. $37 points for flumed, running right across the top of Zaires, and instead I did fudge for 27. Yeah, flumed was better. Nice spot by my opponent. Mink for 39, that looks fine. Great for my opponent to have back-to-back bingos, but it put me in with a significant deficit, and I wasn't able to come back. Djembe was playable. Well, down from auditor, 33 points, not a huge score. I think Jet for 30, only 3 fewer points, keeping BEMRX. Well, probably not very much between those. Jet, rather than Djembe, keeps open the bingo lane in column 14. Now, Imbrex, underneath the S of dolphins, is the move I rejected, and I played Myrex for 34, but what was playable was remixed at f10. Oh, right, underneath FE I could have placed my R, and then my X would have been on the triple letter square to the left of the T of auditor. That would have been really nice, 44 points. Myrex and Mixer were certainly not as good. Nice bingo by my opponent. And here I could have played Itch. I didn't spot that at A1. Instead I played Hick for 4 fewer points in the same rack leave. I don't think there's very much between those moves. And this is where I was looking for a 2 move out. The program which generates these suggestions doesn't identify 2 move outs. I think it just looks at words and produces a selection. So J6, Volt, making anal and tint, 23 points. That would have been pretty good. Boar probably did have 2 spots that you could go out with it. Now, what was available here? Yep, Loto, my outplay was the only out, so I'm glad to have spotted that. So, a hammering by 140 odd points. I didn't play perfectly, but I never do. I think that probably the most significant error was playing Dolphins rather than Unpolish, but it was only an error in that Unpolish was valid. If you have a doubt about a bingo and you have another lower scoring bingo that you're sure of, it's usually worthwhile going with the one you're sure of, because there will be times when the one you have doubts about isn't good, and then you will have missed out on playing a bingo. So, I hope you enjoyed watching that game and got something out of it. My name is David Webb, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.